This path is part of a sacred pilgrimage route in the Kii mountain range of Japan and leads to many Buddhist monasteries. The 800-mile-high valley in which the path is located was chosen to be a spiritual sanctuary because it lies in the center of 8 mountain peaks, symbolizing the center of a lotus bloom. Mrs. O'Brien was a guest in one of the monasteries. Sumo wrestling is Japan's national sport. Modern-day sumo tournaments began in the 1600s, but the origins of sumo date back 2,000 years and are steeped in Shinto tradition and ritual. Ms. Baker and Mrs. O'Brien attended the final day of the May 2014 Grand Sumo Tournament at the Ryogoku Kokugikan, or the Sumo Hall in Ryogoku, Tokyo. The Japanese macaque, or snow monkey, lives farther north than any other wild primate. Mrs. O'Brien visited the Jigokuwani Monkey Park in June, when most of the adult monkeys were resting in the heat, but the young monkeys born earlier that spring were playful and active. Although everything is green in these pictures, the area is covered in snow 9 months out of the year. Ms. Baker visited Hitachi Ibaraki while in Japan. Hitachi is Birmingham's sister city in Japan, and the two cities have a long tradition of sending visitors back and forth. While in Hitachi, Ms. Baker was hosted by Yumiko and Yoshiya Morimura, met many city officials, and visited 2 elementary schools and 2 middle schools. Notice the statue of Vulcan, a gift from the city of Birmingham. The Great Buddha Hall, located in Todaiji Temple Complex, houses the largest bronze statue of the Buddha in the world. The statue is almost 50 feet tall and weighs over 500 tons. Todaiji Temple Complex is one of the 7 historic sites in the ancient city of Nara. Deer are regarded as messengers of the gods in the Shinto religion and are allowed to roam freely on the grounds of these sites in Nara. The Central Golden Hall of Kofukuji, also in Nara, is being rebuilt in the style of the original that was destroyed by a fire in 1717. Visitors that would like to support the building effort with small donations are invited to leave a message on the roof tile that will be used in the hall's construction. Highland School's Country of Study visit is now a part of the new Central Golden Hall in Nara. In between visits to schools and cultural attractions, the travelers enjoyed shopping and noticed that many of the department stores in Japan are several stories tall. During one excursion, they both tried out an exercise device that required a strong core and great balance. Results were humorous. The setting of the Kinkakuji, or Temple of the Golden Pavilion, is a classic example of Japanese garden design where elements of a larger landscape are symbolically represented on a smaller scale around a building. This gilded Zen Buddhist temple houses relics of the Buddha and many religious artifacts from across the ages. Visitors may only view the temple as reflected in the adjacent pool. The Hiroshima Peace Memorial and the Children's Peace Monument are dedicated to the memory of the thousands of people who died as a result of the atomic bombing at Hiroshima on August 6, 1945. This building was the only structure left standing following the bombing. Thousands of folded paper cranes are brought to the Children's Peace Monument daily and symbolize the wish for a world without nuclear war. Itsukushima Shrine is dedicated to the 3 daughters of the Shinto god of the sea, and the famous floating torii gate to the shrine is believed to be a boundary between the spirit and human worlds. Look carefully at the mountain range on the Island of Gods, as this island is known. Can you see the profile of one of the goddesses that the shrine is dedicated to? The Gasho-style farmhouse is a rare type of architecture that developed in the isolation of the mountains surrounding the villages. The steep roofs, constructed completely with thatch, grass rope, and logs, support and shed heavy amounts of snow fall each winter. Often the highest story of the large extended family farmhouses are used to raise silkworms, a major industry source of the area. Visiting schools was one of Miss Baker's and Mrs. O'Brien's favorite parts of their visit to Japan. While there, they were able to tour and observe classes in 8 elementary and middle schools across the country. They learned a lot about school in Japan and enjoyed asking and answering lots of great questions. Miss Baker attended Hyakumangoku Parade, the highlight of the main festival of Kanazawa, Japan. This parade reenacts the entrance of Lord Maeda Toshie and his entourage into Kanazawa in 1583. Many of the parade's participants dress in 16th century period costumes, and the line of kimono-clad Japanese dancers spans for miles.